I was aggressively long here. Then I took this pullback. Actually, I didn't really manage my stop very well. I kind of paid down half, and I should have, stop really should have been below this kind of rotation low. I mean, yeah, you're taking on a lot of risk, but you were trading in the right area, and you can kind of take on, knowing the potential risk reward, you should really be taking on that kind of risk. But regardless, we ain't got a really strong move, and my managing the trade before that wasn't great, but the actual idea was really solid. So let me just now move on to onto the ladders, and I'm going to kind of show you two parts of the video. So I'm going to be showing you the initial the initial trade up into 73s, how it kind of looked, and then I'm going to skip forward as to when we kind of start to see that spoofing take place. So this is at this point now we've had that really nice tight sideways range formed. Notice we had we had a ledge here. We had a volume ledge. So I was trying to work. I believe it was between 70s and 73s at the top of that nice little sideways range. And notice now how we kind of create a bigger volume. As we initially had this ledge here, then we create a bigger ledge as we kind of trade more volume up here, trade more size, and it gets quite congested. Let me just put it on full screen for you guys. And it gets quite congested up here. So notice actually there was 100 lot kind of sitting here already, and see how I'm kind of looking to, I've got hovering over the bid if it starts to blip up. So again, notice how much kind of volume we trade here. Start to ledge out on the 73s. And as we kind of see, the bid kind of then gets slowly. I'm kind of looking for kind of any exhaustion in this small range. I'm feeding in more size at this point. So I'm basically trying to lift any kind of downtick. We've seen how aggressively we trade up into this high. Notice now how we start to put kind of the offer gets puffed up a bit here. So now we're starting to see 90 lots, 100 lots, 100 lots kind of sitting on the offer here. What I want to kind of go back to now is when we retrade this high out. So this is when we start to squeeze, we're kind of trading down lower volume. Given comparison to what we were trading up here, like when we're clipping 100s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So we kind of sit in this range here. I puked half my position. Notice how this kind of size is still sat on the offer, Nothing really in comparison to what's on the bid. So again, you're kind of seeing this more puffed up offer. Again, notice how we see this size here, the 70s, sitting on the offer here. And when you start to see this size on the offer, for me, like it almost always if it's going to get traded out. I feel like when you start to see this size advertised on the offer, it's going to get attracted to the market's kind of going to get attracted and drawn back up to it to kind of rotate back up higher again. But as you can kind of see, it spends so much time actually like kind of gathering positions in this little range, having traded so aggressively into the 73s, ledged again. The whole kind of principle of it is at this point you need to be looking. You've had the hourly close now. You're kind of really focusing on where we're trading, and at this point I potentially should have doubled my clip. So I should have had get my size back on, knowing that we're potentially going to rip through this high. I should have had my clip again doubled up. Just so I get my size on quickly, as opposed to having to kind of faff around. And as you see, I don't actually get filled when we do rip through these highs. So we kind of see 160 lot here, 150 lot, 75s, kind of generally slightly larger offer in comparison to what we're trading on the bid. When it's kind of sitting here like this and it kind of feels slow and quiet, I'm always paying attention to the actual volume trading, how much is kind of how important it is. As long as the volume is still there, it's actually trading as what's actually being lifted on the offer, what's being lifted through the offer. It's so much more significant as to what was kind of trading down. And if you just see there, as the second that size was taken, the whole. Right, just go back. So it says 130 lot here. I remember focusing on this so much because I was kind of focused on trying to lift 73s, 74s above that area. But actually, you could have just been, had the conviction to start playing it earlier here. So see 150 lot here, kind of still circling this small little range. You have to be just so kind of quick and just like understanding of the the positioning, kind of such a tight range of volume is traded here. If it is going to get pulled, it is going to kind of unravel at once. It's going to go rip straight through that high, straight to that point. Especially, the close of this candle up here was so strong. The amount of volume of delta. So as we see here, starting to reload again, reloading the 69s. It's trading into the 70s. So once he was clipped there, you could have started lifting 71, 72, 73s, stopped below 70s. And then this is when we started to go away. So that was kind of the trade there for me. Really aggressive once we actually did break through the highs, but it was just kind of about managing risk as we kind of pulled back and we slowed down. Looking at 60-minute, looking at everything else, looking at your dailies, kind of just focused on where you're trading, you're trading in the right areas, making the right decisions in the right areas. It's just about then kind of, managing the risk in between and not being too far, try not to panic, try to slow down a little bit, because it was quite a nasty squeeze. But if you were just kind of patient and you kind of focus on what would actually happen at that high originally, and then looking at the offers, looking how everything's trading, once you could have had a new kind of area which you could have lifted through the 71s, 72s, as opposed to waiting for 73s, 74s. But yeah, that was just kind of something that I've been seeing quite a lot actually recently. There's a lot of spoofing in the oil, especially now we're kind of grinding higher. It's kind of slow. You have to be a lot more timely with your breakouts and how you're trying to pick and choose your moments to trade this market, because it kind of like I said, you get these long periods of consolidation before breaking out and all these kinds of things.